Ladies and gentlemen, Broncos country, Sean Payton has gotten his guy. Now, many of you know that I wanted the Broncos to draft J.J. McCarthy, trade up to get him because I really did think that that was Sean's guy. And what I wanted most in this draft is for Sean Payton to get his guy at the quarterback position to develop and run his offense. And I really did think that was J.J. McCarthy. However, it did end up being Bo Nix. And because it is Bo Nix, I am happy. I liked Bo Nix initially. I even said in my mock draft, my final three mock drafts, there was the trade up scenario and then there was the trade down scenarios where we do end up picking Bo Nix as our quarterback of the future. So I do not hate the Bo Nix pick at all. I like Bo Nix as a prospect, and I think he will be a very solid quarterback in the NFL. The thing for me is I think that at pick 12, it was a little bit steep and a little bit rich to take Bo Nix. But the thing is you have to take your guy. You can't take the risk of him not being there if you trade back. And I think if we traded back, Bo Nix would not be available to us. I do think that if we traded back, that the Raiders would have taken Bo Nix at pick 13, and then we would have been screwed out of one of the first round quarterbacks and then one of those first top tier guys. So the Broncos, we get our guy at pick 12, maybe a little bit early, but if it's for a quarterback and if it's for your guy, you can't let anyone tell you it's too early. You have to go and get your guy. According to Benjamin Albright, Bo Nix was the quarterback number 3 on the Broncos draft board behind Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. That shows you how much or how highly George Paton, but more specifically Sean Payton, thinks of Bo Nix to have him as the quarterback number 3 on the Broncos board. That's above guys like J.J. McCarthy, who I was a fan of, which, by the way, I can't stress this enough. I like the Bo Nix pick. Don't get it twisted. Just because I wanted J.J. McCarthy does not mean I don't like the Bo Nix pick. I think this is a fantastic pick for the Broncos, and I think we got our guy and we got our quarterback of the future. But it shows you that they had Bo Nix above Drake May, above Caleb Williams, above Michael Penix as that third best quarterback, and that says something. So they got one of their top guys, and if it's Sean Payton's guy, I'm not going to go against him. I trust Sean Payton. I know a lot of people and a lot of Broncos fans have said they're critical of Sean Payton, and that's your right to be critical of Sean Payton. But I trust Sean Payton, and I think he is going to do a fantastic job because he's got his guy. He can run his offense, and his comp was Drew Brees. And I'm not saying he's necessarily going to be Drew Brees. I hope so, because that would mean we got a fantastic quarterback. But he's able to get the ball out quickly, doesn't have the strongest arm. So in those two comparisons, he is very similar to Drew Brees. Another thing, according to Adam Schefter in Denver, held a private workout with Bo Nix the day after his pro day. The night before the workout, the Broncos sent Nix 3 packets of offensive play installation, and the next morning, as they worked in the classroom with Nix, he crushed it per a Broncos source. Was excellent with the install and learning the plays and understanding the playbook. And then next, the Broncos took Nix from the classroom to the field where they watched Bo Nix throw for an hour, and they were convinced they had a quarterback they wanted. So the installation that they gave him and watching him throw, those were the main factors of what the Broncos wanted in getting Bo Nix. I guess I kind of said that very weird, but in an interview with Pat McAfee, one of the things that Sean Payton said was, or there was a couple things he said. I would show the clip, but I don't want to get taken down for copyright. The two things were that Sean Payton essentially said after that private workout, he sat in the car and he was essentially blown away by Bo Nix, and kind of confirming what Adam Schefter said here. They were convinced that they had their quarterback. And so, yeah, Sean Payton was very impressed. And then what he did is that he took everything in a vacuum. Essentially, he removed all the passes from Bo Nix that were bubble screens, or essentially the bubble screens and the short dump off routes, just to see his throws downfield. And it showed that he was one of the better passers in college football. I believe one of the highest completion percentages in all of college football if you remove those screen and bubble passes. Next up, Here's a few more things. Sean Payton wanted and intended to draft Patrick Mahomes in the 2017 draft, but when he held the 11th overall pick, he was ready to turn in the card, but before he could, the Chiefs traded up to the Bills spot at number 10 and took Mahomes one spot before Payton got him, leaving the Saints to draft Ohio State cornerback Marshawn Lattimore. Payton feels as strongly about Bo Nix as he did Mahomes. Now, that's not saying that Bo Nix will by any means be Mahomes. But, if Sean Payton had this feeling and this intuition and this want to get Patrick Mahomes, and he feels the same way about Bo Nix, that is some pretty good company to have Sean Payton wanting to go and get. So, yeah, Bo Nix is the Broncos quarterback. Not saying that he will be Patrick Mahomes, but it's just interesting to see these storylines come out. And then the other storyline is that Broncos center Alex Forsyth, who played with Nix at Oregon before he got drafted by Denver, or I guess before Denver drafted him in the 7th round, raved to Broncos coaches about his former college quarterback. Forsyth told Broncos coaches that Nick is smart, knows every protection, handles it all at the line of scrimmage, and had the universal respect of the entire team, which is good praise coming from your former center. I guess not only former center, but your former teammate as well. And, I'm having a feeling that Alex Forsyth will probably win the starting center job with his former quarterback being on the squad. Now, during Bo Nix's time in college here, just his college stats, I'm sure you guys have seen it a million times, but we're just going to go over it quick. In 61 games, Bo Nix has 1,286 completions on 1,936 attempts. He threw for 15,352 yards, he had 113 touchdowns to 26 interceptions, and a passer rating of a 149.6 between his career at the University of Auburn and the University of Oregon. Now, if you want me to go in depth, or if you want to hear my in-depth thoughts of Bo Nix, go back to a video titled The Top 6 Quarterbacks That I Want the Denver Broncos to Draft. And also, you can go into my top 10 quarterbacks for the 2024 NFL Draft, and that gives you my in-depth analysis. I'm not going to go over that in this video because that's going to be kind of repeating myself on previous videos, and also I'm very tired as it is 2 in the morning when I'm recording this, so I'm not really feeling like going over the pros and cons and explaining everything. So I'm sorry, but if you want to go and hear that explanation, go check out that video. And now I will leave you with one final thing. Jeez, I need to learn how to speak right now. I'll leave you with one final thing, and that is going to be my reaction from my draft stream of my thoughts of what happened when the Broncos drafted Bo Nix at pick number 12. Go ahead, enjoy that. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. My name is Parker, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out. All right, here we go. Bo Nix, quarterback out of Oregon. That's our guy. It's Bo Nix. It is Bo Nix. Maybe a little bit high for me, but I think that's a great pick. Little high. Would have liked him in a trade back, but with how the quarterbacks went, with Penix going at 8, you had to get your guy here, and so we get our guy in Bo Nix. We got our guy in Bo Nix.